Hi students, welcome to Rashi's classes. I am Rashida Majid, retired teacher from GGHSS Haripad. I also worked in NIMS Dubai and Huda Trust Public School Haripad. Today I wish to take the first chapter of chemistry, that is metals and non-metals. All of you are familiar with materials. Which all materials you know? List some of them. Gold, silver, coal, pencil lead, sulfur, calcium. All these are materials. Some of these materials are metals, some of them are non-metals. This is a periodic table. This you will study in 10th standard. In this you can see most of the elements are metals. Only a few are non-metals. In this chapter we will study physical properties of metals. Second one, chemical properties of metals and non-metals, and uses of metals and non-metals. First, physical properties of metals and non-metals. Some materials are given: gold, coal, sulfur, aluminium and iron. What about its appearance? Gold is shiny appearance. What about coal? Coal is carbon piece. When wood is burned we get coal. It is dull. Sulfur, it is also a non-metal and it is dull. Aluminium, it is a metal and it is shiny. Iron, it is also a metal and it is shiny. Its appearance is shiny. Then what about hardness? Gold, you know it is very strong. It is very hard. So gold is very hard. But what about coal? It is not very hard. Not very hard. And sulfur is also not very hard. Aluminium, it is hard. Iron is also hard. Here we understood that metals have shiny appearance. This property is called metallic luster. So the first property of a metal is metallic luster. Then the second property is hardness. Usually metals are very hard. Only a few exceptions are there. Sodium and potassium. They are very soft metals. They can be cut with a knife. Then about non-metals, they are not having metallic luster or they have dull appearance and they are not very hard. We make tools and machineries using iron and copper because it is very hard. Next property is malleability. What is malleability? Suppose you are beating an iron nail, a coal piece, aluminium wire and pencil lead with a hammer. What happens? You can see the iron nail, if we hit very hard, it flattens. And coal piece, it breaks into pieces. Then aluminium wire also, it flattens. And pencil lead also break into pieces. So we can say metals can be beaten into thin sheets. This property is called malleability. Aluminium foil, you know, we are using it for wrapping things. This is because aluminium can be beaten into very thin sheets. And some chocolate cover, that is also made of silver foils. Next is conductivity of heat. Can you hold a metallic pan with a metallic handle? We feel hot, no? We use plastic or wooden handles. Otherwise, we will get hurt. We can say that metals are good conductors of heat. Why we use plastic or wooden handles? They do not conduct heat. They are poor conductors. Metals are good conductors of heat and non-metals are poor conductors of heat. We use aluminium and copper for making cooking utensils. Next is electrical conductivity. See, this is a screwdriver. What kind of a handle does it have? It has a plastic handle. Because if you do electrical rippers and all. Otherwise we may get electric shock. So we can say that metals are good conductors of electricity. Here metals and non-metals are given. Let us see whether they are good conductors or poor conductors. First one, iron nail. You know it is a metal, so it is a good conductor. Then what about sulfur? It is non-metal, so it is poor conductor because it does not conduct electricity. Then coal piece. Coal, you know it is carbon. It is a non-metal, so it is also poor conductor. Then what about copper wire? Copper wire conducts electricity because it is a metal. So it is good conductor. So we can say that metals are good conductors of electricity and non-metals are poor conductors of electricity. Next is ductility. What is ductility? The property of a substance by which it can be thrown into thin wires is called ductility. You know, for electrical wires, we use aluminium and copper wires because they are very ductile. They can be thrown into very thin wires. Even gold, silver, very ductile. So we can say metals are ductile. Next is sonority. What happens when we drop a metallic plate on the floor? It produces a sound. Metals produce a ringing sound when struck hard. This property is called sonority. School bells are made of metals and you know anklets produce sound. Anklet is made of silver. Silver is a metal. So metals produce ringing sound. So we can say metals are sonorous. What all things we studied? So far we have studied the difference between metals and non-metals and their physical properties. Let us conclude. Metals are hard. They are lustrous, malleable, ductile, sonorous, and they are good conductors of heat and electricity. While non-metals are not hard, that is, they are soft, dull in appearance, break down into a powdery mass on tapping with a hammer, not sonorous, poor conductors of heat and electricity. So in next class, I will take chemical properties and uses of metals and non-metals. I hope you have understood my class. If you like my class, please like, share and subscribe, and for new updates, press the bell icon. Thank you.